Welcome once again to Module 6, where we'll be learning freelancing and client management. So in this module, we're going to look at how we can manage our clients while we're also trying to write effectively as we master our craft. Now, this module focuses on building a successful freelancing copywriting career while maintaining effective relationship with our clients. So for us to do that, there are some steps we are going to follow to achieve that. In the meantime, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, I will advise you do so, and also click on the bell notification so that whenever we have any new updates, you are going to see them. So let's go to the next slide. Now, in this slide, we are going to see how to set up as a copywriter. Now, the first step to being a successful copywriter is to establish a very strong foundation. So if we're able to establish a strong foundation by learning what we have been practicing, what we have been seeing from the first module to the fifth module, and we've been able to write our very first copy and trying to practice them over and over again, you see that our foundation will be strong and we'll have that confidence and courage to approach any client for a gig. So see, this is what you will do. First, we'll be building your portfolio and online presence. So how do you build your portfolio? What you do is that when you are practicing, you create samples to showcase your skills. Even if you are just new, it doesn't matter. So all your practicing, all the copies you have been writing, could be your copy or landing page, whatever, all the things you have been doing, you are going to put them in a document. So that will serve as a portfolio for you to show to clients, to show your ability. Secondly, you have to develop professional online presence. This is very important. So what this means is that now that you are practicing, you will be updating your platform, social media platform, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your TikTok. See, so any social media platform you have, be sharing your story, be updating them. Any new thing you learn, put them there, because all of these are what you are going to fall back to in time to come. And again too, it has a way of passing message across to potential clients. Because let's take for example, you reach out to a client and you want to offer your service. Some of them will also do background check on you. They will try to check what you have been doing, your activity on social media, just like your footprint, you see. So all of this can build a good persona about you. It shows that you are serious and you are really deep into the kind of skill that you have. So we don't want to take this for granted, you see. So for example, you can have a LinkedIn profile. This profile, you have to optimize it to really fit your personality as a copywriter. So all of these are what we are going to put into cognizance. And again, you can even use other online platform like Canva to create a website portfolio. Don't worry, with time I will do a video on that. So all of these are ways we can improve our online presence and also create a sound portfolio that will really make us look professional to our potential clients. Again, another way to establish a strong foundation is by joining copywriting communities. Yes, we already have a community on Telegram where we'll be doing copywriting work together. So if you are not part of that community, I would advise you join so that you can also use this to your advantage. And using social media, I've already mentioned that. So in your social media platforms, you have to be giving good value, giving content about copywriting. So all of these will help to portray you as someone good or like a professional in what you are doing. So let's go to the next slide. Now in this part, we are going to see how we can price our skill when we are giving proposal or when we are reaching out to clients, how to price. Now let me just give you this hint. In your copywriting journey, ideally, if you write one email for a client, an email is supposed to cost between $100 to $200. That's for email. So that normal email you are using to practice, you are learning. So if any client hires you, the pay is between $100 to $200 for just one email. So you can see how it is. For landing page, to create a landing page, the fee is around $1,000 to $2,000. So I'm just telling you this so that when you want to charge your client, you don't overcharge and you don't charge below your work. You see, so this will to give you an idea of what you are to expect. But again, let me just say this again, you don't want to tell a client that one email will cost them $100 or one email will cost them $150 or even $200, and you don't still want to tell them that to create a landing page for them will cost them $1,000 or $2,000. You don't want to do that. You have to, there's a professional approach you have to adopt so that it will be as if you are, as in when you just give a price, it tends to drive them off. So you want to be professional in the way you give your price to your client. You understand? But if it's a client that is on retainer, you can tell them your price. But if you are just meeting a client for the first time, you don't want to do that. So how do you now price your skill? How do you price whatever thing you want to do with your client? This is how you may do that. See, you anchor the price to value. For example, you can highlight the return on investment your copy can generate instead of focusing on the number of hours you spend. You see, for instance, you can let your client to understand that this email sequence or whatever job you are going to do for your client can increase or boost their sale by 20%. You see, so you focus on the benefit your client will get from the job you are going to do for them. You see, so when you professionally handle it this way, it makes them to say, okay, at least it's fair enough than just telling them the price or the number of hours you are going to spend. They don't care about that. And again, another way you can do that is you can even ask your potential client what their budget is. For example, maybe you approach a client that you want to write copy for, and in the conversation they are asking you how much they will charge. You understand? So sometimes you might ask your potential client what their budget is, or probably you tell them for this budget, if they can budget this is the kind of result they can get. You see, so you are trying to avoid the situation where you will just hammer on your price and this is my price, and so when you bring your price ahead, instead of trying to know what they have or what they can offer, you now make your negotiation to be so, in fact, you cannot really have a good bargain. You see, so what I'm trying to say in essence is that you have to be professional in handling pricing. Ensure that you give value. Tell them the value they are going to get. So the value should be tied to the whatever pricing that you are giving. So that is just the emphasis I want to relate here. Now let's go to the other part. See, again, before I say this, I want you to understand that you are going to have two types of clients. I'll call them your primary client and your secondary client. This is what I mean. Let's assume after practicing, you now want to land your first client that you are going to work for. Now that client that will pay you is your primary client. The client that you are going to negotiate price with, that is your primary client. Now your secondary client is the customer or the target audience of that your primary client. Now let me put it this way. Let's assume you have been practicing on e-commerce niche, on the e-commerce market, and all your work now you want to really showcase your work. Now you want a client to hire you, and the client that is hiring you is in the e-commerce industry. Now the business owner in that e-commerce business is your primary client. Now their customers or people that will be buying from them, they are your secondary client. So you remember that when you are practicing, when you are learning how to write, all your target is how to make this secondary client to patronize whatever thing you are writing about. You understand the point? So now in this instance, in this model, what we are trying to do is that you now focus your attention on your primary client instead of your secondary client. The reason why it is like that is, if after practicing you walk up to a potential client that you want them to hire you to help them write, you now show them that this is the copy you have written, or you tell them that I am a copywriter, hire me, they might not be able to really relate. They don't see that as anything meaningful. But if you approach them with the mindset of trying to solve a problem for them, trying to know their pain point, and you approach them in that way, they will easily understand you and they will feel the need to say, okay, let me hire this person. I don't know if you understand the point. So what I'm trying to say is that just the same way you are doing research to research about your secondary clients, which is the people that will patronize your main client, also do a thorough research about your primary client so that you will know their pain points, know what their problem is, know what their difficulty is, know how you can add value to them. So when you approach them in that way, they see that you already understand them. This connection will be there, and when you want to, in fact, it will be easier to convince them to hire you than just showing them what you have written, or all your emphasis is on the secondary clients, whereas they don't see any need on what you have been telling them. So let me read the example. You say, address their pain points, outline your proposed solution, and provide clear deliverables. You see, so your primary client, which is the one that will pay you, make sure, try to research about them, know what their problem is. So that is what you hammer on. Remember, in our framework for copywriting, we said one of the framework is PAS. The pain, agitation, and solution. Now, your primary client that wants to hire you, what are their pain? What are their struggle? What are they passing through? What are they trying to achieve? So approach them with their pain. So when you approach them with their pain, it's easier for them to relate more with you, to give you that job, than trying to tell them this is what you can help them to do, or showing them how to make their customer to buy from them, because they don't see that as anything meaningful. But if you tell them their problem, show them their problem, and now you can solve the problem for them, they will quickly understand you. I hope you are getting this point. Okay, so this is an example. You can, for example, tell your client that I understand you are looking to improve conversion. My optimized sales page framework can help achieve that with a targeted structure and compelling call to actions. You see, so this is just an example anyway. So, but what I'm trying to stress is that know your client very well. The client that will pay you, know them, know their pain, know their problem, and you approach them with their problem and how you can solve the problem for them with your copywriting skill. They will understand more. You'll be able to relate to them more than just showing them that you can write copy. This is what you can write. They will not even reason you. They will not even listen to you. And at the end of the day, you may lose that client. So that is the point. So let's go to the next slide. Now in this slide, we are seeing ways we can collaborate with our clients. Collaborating with our clients. So we want to see how we can build strong relationship to ensure that we don't repeat the same thing over and over. That's just the point in this slide. Now, how do we do that? We do that by handling briefs and feedback. Now, let's assume a client has hired you to write copies for them, because now as a copywriter, you are the bridge. You are just like the middleman between your client and their customer. You are the one helping them to relate. So your duty is to communicate what your client wants to their target audience or to their customer. That's your duty. Now let's assume a client has hired you to help them write copies. Before you start, you can make sure you get some clarification. Know what your client really wants, what they want you to do, or what they want to achieve. You have to understand that before you start, because if you don't understand it, let's assume they have been struggling with sales and you don't probe further to know what actually they still want, apart from just helping them to make sales. If you just go ahead and do that, maybe after completing your work and maybe they are not getting the sales they want, they may be frustrated because they've not really gotten the result they want. But if you are very clear on what they want, maybe they want to get sales and they want to be getting new customers every time, or they want their customers to know more about their product, to educate them, you see. So if you get all of this clarification, when you are writing your copy should focus on these dimensions, you see. So don't just assume. Make sure you get all the clarification. Make them understand. They should tell you what they want, you see. So when you have all this information before you put them into your writing, so that is the point. And again, you still have to welcome feedback with professionalism. If you've done a job for a client and the client gives you a feedback, or the client is not satisfied with the job so far, You understand? Don't feel bad or don't just throw their feedback away. No, use that as a learning point and look for a way. If a client gives a feedback and they are not satisfied yet, look for a way to make amends, to make everything work fine for them. Because if you can get one satisfied client, if you can satisfy one client, it is better, or it is advantageous to you than trying to convince 100 new clients. Because these satisfied clients, the review, the recommendation they will give you, you can use that as a guarantee to more clients to get to know what you are doing. And again, too, at times this particular satisfied client may also have colleagues or associates that they can tell, you see, so they can also help you to get more clients. So trying to satisfy your client should be your utmost, other than just doing the job whether they like it or not. You don't want to do that. Then communicating effectively for long-term relationship. Yes, this is very important. Use regular check-in to show the progress of your job so far, so that you will be like somebody that is transparent. Now let me share my experience. There was a time I was working on a project and I needed to get new customers that we call leads. I needed to get new lead. It's not as if I don't know how to run Facebook ad, but because of what I was doing, I already prepared my landing page. So I needed someone to help me to run Facebook ad to bring new customers to what I was working on. Now I saw this guy online and I contacted the guy. He told me his charges, and my budget was, I wanted to do Facebook ad with 70,000 naira. That was the 70,000 naira does not include the charges, his own charging fee. So now I use my own ad account for that project. So I just shared my login to him so that he can log that in and use the ad account to run the advert. So when he did that, I was surprised that at the end of the whole ad campaign, this guy messaged me and he gave me all the breakdown of how he spent the money. In fact, I wasn't really expecting that from him, you understand? Although I got the result I wanted, you see, but I was not even expecting that he would go to that extent to show me how he spent the money, just to be free, that just to prove to me that he used every penny that I gave to him for the project. You see, I was really marveled, honestly speaking, you see. So I'm not saying that when a client hire you are going to tell your client how the money he paid you, how you are going to spend it. That's not what I'm saying. But in between, try to be conversational, share your experience, share your progress with your clients. Let them know what you are doing, how far you have gone, the stage you are at any point in time. All of this will help to build a good relationship between you and your client. It shows transparency, and if you are able to build that trust, you see, they might take you on a retainer, or if they have subsequent projects, you always be top of their mind because they feel like you share the conversation with them as if you are friends. So that's just the point. So let's go to the next slide. Now in this slide, we are trying to see ways we can use AI tools for our work. You see, so AI is a very good technology that is here to stay. And as copywriters, we want to take advantage of this tool to enhance productivity. Now, there's nothing wrong if you use AIs to improve your work or to make your work faster. There's nothing wrong in that. So we want to take advantage of that. For example, you can use ChatGPT to draft the initial content, or even to generate ideas, or to refine whatever thing you have written, or to even help you to duplicate or make more copies of what you have done, you see. So for example, if a client hires you for a particular project, the client does not care how you arrive at the project, so long as the project is delivering results, is giving results, the client will be satisfied. So we want to use AI to our advantage. That is the point I want to establish here. So use AI to your advantage, use it to improve or to increase productivity and to improve the quality of your work. That's the point. Now you should also remember that AI is just an assistant. You see, the bulk of the work still boils down to you. So use AI to enhance your work, not giving all the duty to AI because you don't want to mess up the project. See, so that is the unique point I want to mention here. Now, conclusively, this model equips you with the skills and strategy needed to succeed as a freelance copywriter, from finding clients to delivering exceptional results that foster long-term relationship. You see, so we want to make sure that we get the best out of whichever project that is given to us. We want to maintain good relationship with our clients. We want to ensure that we know their pain points, what the project is all about is well defined, and in between we want to establish that cordial friendship, that cordial relationship, and trying to be transparent with our clients. You see, all of this will boost further projects. It will make them, whenever they want other project, they can always call on you, or at times if they are more satisfied, they can even tell their colleagues, and they might also tell them to patronize you. So that is really the summary of this module. In our next module, we'll now look at real world projects and assignments. So in this following module, everything we'll be saying is assignment, assignment, assignment. Some assignments are difficult, yes, but that does not mean you cannot do them. You see, it shows that you still need to do further research to understand some of these things. And in most of them, we'll do separate videos for them later. But at least you should try and make attempt first so that you can be a step ahead whenever we want to get to that stage. So this is the end of it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and the notification bell so that you'll be getting all the updates as soon as they drop. See you in the next module.